rig like this is going to turn out to be. You only need 5 things. You got to have a kayak. You got to have a PFD. State of Alabama requires that you have one. If you got one like this, which is very comfortable, I might add, you got to have it on at all times in the state of Alabama. And you need to, no matter what you got, you need to wear it really true, especially if you're going by yourself. So you got to have a kayak, you got to have PFD, you got to have mini propulsion, paddle, pedal, whatever it is, you got to have it. You got to have a rod and reel, you got to have a box tackle. That's all you need to go kayak fishing. That's it.
You gotta have one more thing.
What's that?
You gotta have a whistle.
Oh well, I'm sorry, you got to have a whistle. Didn't think about that. I got my whistle stowed on the inside of this PFD right here. It's in there. So we got that too, that's right. Alright, so let's get some of that stuff on here and go ahead and get it in my way. Get started. And we're going to go ahead and put the seat up here. We'll talk about the seat just go ahead and get up there. Get PFD. Grab a couple rods. Back up. And out. Alright. Here we are. We have kayak fishing machine already. All this fine stuff. Now here's our problem. What in the heck are we going to do with all this mess? This is where it gets kind of cool. Alright. We're going to talk about seating. Okay? Seating is the most important thing on a kayak. Okay? Once you figure out the whole design you want and all that kind of good stuff, it's the most important thing because that's going to determine how long you fish, you know, and how comfortable you're going to be. So there are a lot of seating options out there. You can get the kind that you just strap in and sit down inside the kayak. You can get a type that they make now. It's called a high-low seating. Manufacturers are making these seats that'll have a high position or a low position. You know, they'll sit down inside the cockpit. They'll sit up like so. Ocean Kayak and Old Town are making a seating option now that gives you the high-low position, and you can flip that sucker out of the way if you give you a little standing if you want. So there's tons of options out there as far as seating. The thing is, find something that's comfortable. This right here is Wilderness Systems Kayaks. They only give you 2 seating options. They give you either a high seat or a low seat. You don't have both. So this one here is the high seat. So we got it stuck on there. That's seating. Alright. Rod holder. Alright. So I'm going to tell you a little quick story. Nobody will believe this either, are they? When I first started kayak fishing, all I had was what you see right here. I had a little box tackle. I only took 1 rod with me. You know, I said, man, I don't need all that mess I take on my inshore boat. I'm trying to get away from all that mess. I don't need all that. Then I was in a much smaller kayak than this. So I'm out there and I'm fishing, and I'm throwing top water, throwing a spook. All of a sudden, man, redfish of a lifetime comes up, wow! Hits that spook. The whole baby, it's on. He drags me all over that bay and up and inside down on one side and the other. It was fantastic, greatest time I ever had in my life. The problem was, what am I going to do with this sucker when I get him in the boat? So I get him in the boat with me, and I got him in there, and I got my leg kind of over him a little bit. He's got a mouthful of treble hooks. I'm trying to keep him out of my legs. And I take my rod, which is this rod right here. Now, I went out and I bought my dream rod. This is a $250 Loomis rod. I ain't telling you you got to go buy something like that. I wanted it so I got it. That was my dream rod. So I got this puppy and I got it down there under my leg, and I'm trying to get the fish off there the whole 9 yards. Next thing I know, I kick it, it goes overboard. And I'm not sure what I'm more frustrated about. Not being able to handle a fish or the rod being overboard. So I get the fish undone. I didn't get no pictures with him or anything like that. I dump his behind back overboard and I go after the rod. I was fortunate enough to still have the lure up there. So I just pulled it back up there, and then I get home and I got to bust this puppy down. That ain't no fun. So my solution was rod holders. That's the first thing that everybody does when they go kayak fishing. The first thing they do is going to stick a couple rod holders on the kayak. Well, what you going to do with your rod holder? Well, there's all kind of rod holders you can buy. You can buy flush mount rod holders. Most guys go buy something like that. You can buy a Scotty type rod holder. Something like this cat right here. Oh man, y'all come on in and sit down. Take a break. Bring it there. You can get this kind right here. This is a ram type rod holder. Most people, like I said, they go flush mount route. I don't like the flush mount rod holder. Well, let me tell you why. Reason why, because when you go with a flush mount rod holder, first thing you got to do is knock a hole in your kayak. You got to knock a hole in your kayak, put that flush mount rod holder down in there. That's fine and dandy. It's all good. Better hope you get it where you want, because if you don't, now you're stuck with a hole in your kayak. Another reason I don't like it is because if you're out there and you're fishing in some conditions you probably ain't got no business fishing in, and you take a side seat over the side of the kayak, first thing that's going to happen is that flush mount's going to fill up full of water. And if you're like me and you went out and spent all your bankroll on a $5 rod, now you got your rod sitting in salt. If you're like me and you saltwater fishing, you got your rod sitting in salt water for a handful of hours out of the day. Salt water ain't good on nothing. It ain't good on bread. It ain't good on nothing. So, you know, that's why I hate flush mount rod holders. Another reason why is because when you stick it down in there, you get you real close to the water. You got water slack coming over the side, getting all in your reel, getting all in your junk. You don't need that. You don't want that. So, what I did went with a Scotty. Now, this kayak here, it has a couple things on it. I'm supposed to talk about it first, but it's got a couple things on it called gear track. And it comes with a few pieces on it up here on the bow in the cockpit. And I bought a few pieces and strategically placed them. What this stuff allows you to do is it allows anything that you put on is optional. You're not married to it. You don't have to knock big chunks of holes in your kayak. You can just put this gear track on there and you get these little accessories that have these little T-bolts in the bottom of it that fit the gear track. Okay? So I highly suggest something like this. A lot of boats that are manufactured these days are incorporating this stuff in strategic spots all on the boat, stern and bow. And so anyways, I like the Scotties, and I take a couple of those and I put them back here behind the seat. That tends to be the traditional spot to put them. Real easy to get to. Have that one there somewhere. I always go with two because I take my extra rod. You never know when you're going to need that extra rod. You get out there and you decide you're going to be a hero and take one rod with you. And you get that bird's nest and you get that wind knot. You're going to be kicking yourself, especially if you're 3 miles out and get out there in the first cast, throws a big wad out there and you go, man. You know, it kind of makes it tough to pick the braid out when you're 3 miles out and it's kind of a little rough. So, take a couple rods with you. We got a couple rod holders now. Put these bad boys in. Alright, so we took care of rods. What else do we need to take care of? We need to take care of paddle. Got to do something with the paddle. Alright, a lot of kayaks have a spot molded into the side of the kayak somewhere for the paddle, or they have like this one has it on this other side over here. Have a piece of bungee cord on the other side, so you can just take the paddle and stick it on the side of the kayak and bungee it up. That's fine, that's cool, that's all great. I do a lot of drift fishing, so I like to be able to get to my paddle. Well, Wilderness Systems, they've got a piece of bungee up here on the bow. Alright? Really cool. Gives you a really cool paddle storage option up here. It's not just Wilderness Systems. A lot of kayak manufacturers, they've got some points up here. All you got to do is take a piece of bungee and stretch it across there and you get a nice paddle holder right there on the bow. Take your paddle, lay in your paddle, slide under that holder, sits right there all day long. Now it's there, it's in a good spot. If you're drift fishing down the bank, you grab that puppy out and just give it that good old corrective stroke, and you're good to go. So that's a great position to have that. found something else I like a lot. These puppies right here, this paddle holder, they're made by Native Watercraft. They just come out with these things not too long ago. This little, they got a little T mechanism on the bottom of it, slide right in gear trap. Can't ask better than that. Slide is on here. Up here in this position on either side. Now, when I'm drift fishing, I got the paddle. And I got the paddle in a little bit better position, grabbing it and making adjustments. Cool thing about these right here is they're just that simple. You pick your paddle up, you make the adjustment, you drop your paddle back over, you push it down, it's there. It ain't going nowhere. Well, maybe you can lock it down a little bit. But it makes it real easy to grab, makes it real easy to make adjustments on either side of the boat. Because when you get out there and you're drift fishing, if you're drift fishing up close to structure or something like that, you're going to find where you're going to need to make an adjustment, especially if you hook up a fish and this first thing he wants to do is hightail it through all those, trees over there or what have you. So you need to be able to make adjustments quick like that. These afford you the ability to do that. If you think it's in the way when it's up here, all you got to do is kick it up there on the bow, like on this one, or over here on the side, like this over here. And then it's just out of the way. So I've got 3 options on here, places to stick the paddle. A lot of guys don't have